it wants you to stay. My mom is 5'4", blonde-haired, green-eyed, and an absolute spitfire. She's sassy, she's independent, she drinks, she swears like a sailor, she makes a lot of big jokes, she used to smoke a lot, and she's always the life of the party. She can talk to seemingly everyone. I like to describe this part of my mom as a loud bigness about her. I am also 5'4", blonde hair, green eyes, and self-proclaimed Spitfire. I don't smoke, and I don't drink or swear as much as my mom, but in every single facet other than that, we are the exact same. So I have inherited her loud bigness. However, my mom grew up in communist Romania, and she was very poor. And she was a communist regime's worst nightmare for what a woman should be because she was rebellious. And so she wasn't necessarily the ideal fit for her country. She also wasn't an ideal fit for my dad because growing up and throughout my adult life, I always witnessed my dad trying to make her just a little bit quieter and just a little bit smaller. And this ultimately led to their divorce, which in my mid-20s, seeing them go through a divorce, it had me questioning myself. Was I gonna end up with someone that wanted me to be a little bit smaller? I'm so much like my mom. Is my life gonna be like hers? Is this loud bigness that I have gonna be a hindrance or a gift? So cut to 2022, I'm at work and I have to work on this new project with a manager named John. He's a white man in his late 60s. And this is how I introduce myself to John. Hi, John, my name is Raluca. We have to work on this brand new project together. It's never been done, and I know it's kind of scary, but don't worry, I got your back. Also, I know that we have to work with these new partners that don't really like us, but give me a few meetings with them. I promise I'll win them over. Everything's gonna be just great. I came in with energy, enthusiasm, and my loud bigness. And it caught John a little bit by surprise, but ultimately we got along just great. And cut to a few months later, I see him at the company holiday party. John comes up to me and says, "Hey, you have to meet my wife. I have a feeling you guys are gonna get along just great." And I understand why he said this because this is how Karn introduced herself. Her name is Karn, not Karen. This is how she introduced herself to me. She goes, "Oh my gosh, hi Raluca, John has said so much about you. I'm so excited to meet you." And she comes in hot with a super, super tight hug. And let me tell you, big recognizes big. And Karn was instantly very familiar to me. And next thing I know, we have a trip planned within 20 minutes to go to the Grand Canyon together because Karn is a tour guide into the Grand Canyon. So a few weeks later, lo and behold, I find myself at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And a few miles into the hike, Karn is telling me about her life, her childhood, and most importantly, how much different her life is ever since she met John. One thing she told me is that being a tour guide in the canyon is her dream job, and it requires her to sometimes be down in the canyon for any time between a week to 10 days with seemingly no cell service. And she told me that John doesn't give her a hard time about this. She also said that within the 30 plus years that they had been together, he's never made her feel like she needs to be smaller. So anyways, we finish our trip. It's amazing. We're heading back to our house where my car is. We're dirty, we're sweaty, we're sore, and the next thing that happens was really small but really significant to me. So we're parking the car and the porch light is not on. So we're having a hard time when we park the car finding our things and kind of getting ourselves settled. So John comes out to greet us, and Karn, very annoyed, turns to him and says, "John, you did not have the light on even though you knew we were coming home." And John looks at her calmly and says, "Oh, okay. Can I try again?" And she says, "Yes." So he goes into the house, switches on the light, so the porch light is on, and comes back out. And she thanks him for turning on the light, but then he thanks her for letting him try again. And everything went back to being normal. And in that moment, I realized I witnessed something really important. The hours that Karn had been telling me down in the canyon how amazing John is, how he loves her, how he supports her, I got to witness that exact thing. And it made me realize that there are wonderful men out there that love loud, big women with big personalities. And Not only that, big women or women with big personalities that go against the conventional norm, and that these men don't force women to be someone who they're not. And so, with that realization, I made an active choice that this gift that my mom gave me of my loud bigness, if it could eventually lead me to something where I can end up with a relationship like John and Karn, something that's loving and supportive and kind, then I am grateful for two things. The first thing is that my mom showed me to never make myself smaller, and that I got all of this from my mom.